Welcome to the Bloomberg Forum. I'm Nora Macaluso. I'm talking today with John Nowell. He's President and Chief Executive of Global Partner Ventures, which runs the Defense Enterprise Fund. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Nora. I'm glad to be here today.
Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your fund and how it got started, where it's going?
Sure, Nora. We're direct equity investors. We have a long-term view. The fund was initially started to reduce the threat of bomb scientists going off to some other place because they didn't have a job. And so we concentrate on converting the technological and human potential of the best of the minds of the old Soviet Union into new ventures that they make things that are profitable and they're proud of. So we've concentrated mostly on telecoms, information technology, and material sciences, which breaks down into what nuclear weapons scientists used to do, what strategic command and control guys used to do, and what a few of the chemical and biological weapons scientists used to do, because there's a pretty good fit between those. So we're market-driven, but we have, in fact, sought some policy objectives as well. At this point, we've got about $50 million invested in 14 joint ventures. About 3,000 former bomb scientists or engineers now at work in those ventures making new things that are profitable, that are actually good for the Russian economy and good for the West. And the fund is returning some pretty interesting numbers. You know, when you do direct equity, it's hard to get a fix on where you are until you harvest, but I would say that we have a very competitive portfolio at this point.
And how have recent events in Russia changed your outlook, or have they?
Well, Nora, you know, if you look back at the last 700 years of Russian history, it's really never been any different. Russia has always been quite turbulent, and when you're looking for extraordinary rewards, you have to look at some extraordinary risks. The currency devaluation is actually a needful step. It's been counted for or discounted in the market about 3 times for the amount that they've actually devalued at this point. So that really didn't affect us terribly. It'll affect 2 groups a little differently. It'll affect the day traders and the people who are trying to trade stocks and bonds, who need a little bit greater degree of investor confidence than people who work there every day like we do. I mean, we're still looking at an economy that is running. And it will affect the Russian people because it will be much more difficult for them to achieve the kind of integration with the West that they would like. And that step is actually key to the changes, because in Russia, political changes drive economic changes. And I think what we're looking at here is sort of the last gasp of the inability of the Russian government to manage public finance. And I actually think this is probably about the last time they can bungle this one.
What do you think about today's announcement they'll delay the debt restructuring?
Actually, I think that's probably a good thing. The initial wave of concern was that foreign investors would get a bad deal, that Russians would actually end up getting about 3 times as much money back out of the restructuring as Western investors, and that, of course, would be just poison for any time the government has to go back into international markets. I think this delay will allow the Russians a chance to get their house in order.
And you think this is the last gasp? Have we hit bottom, or is there lower to go?
Well, you should never underestimate anybody's ability to sort of muddle downward. I think that Russia has a long history of being able to persevere. This market trough might be fairly lengthy, but I think we're pretty close to the bottom. I think that in 5 years, Russia will be a lead economy, not a lag economy. All the fundamentals are there. All the natural resources are there. All the human potential is there. The thing they just haven't gotten right yet is how to do governance, and I think we're getting close to that.
Do you think anything's going to come of President Clinton's visit next month?
Well, I think it might be a better vacation for him than the current one at Martha's Vineyard. He will be further away from the American press. I think that if he's taking a long-term view, he'll do a lot to bolster Kiriyenko, who's the new prime minister, who's doing a lot to instigate some reforms, and he'll spend a little time with Yeltsin. So I think it's good. It's good that we don't lose interest in Russia.
And as far as your investments, how do you pick a good joint venture partner?
Well, the most important thing in any direct equity investment is always people. It's never the deal, it's always the people. If the people are good, and in Russia there are many, many wonderful scientists, engineers, and some good businessmen now. If you pick good people, they'll find a way to make it work. In our ventures, we've had some extraordinarily good luck with venture partners, and we've also had we've had a few in the past that were not so great, which I think almost anyone who's done business there could say. It's important to stick to what you know. It's important to do things that you already knew how to do. That's why we've stayed so close to telecoms and information technology, because we already understood how the fundamentals of those businesses worked in the West. That keeps us away from things that may be very attractive, but that we don't understand. Because we're about more than money. We're about actually helping grow a business. And if we can't add value, then we shouldn't be there.
Any particular ventures you're looking at right now?
Well, we're in the process of finishing something called MPS Telecom, which is a fiber optic backbone that'll run basically from Asia to Europe. It's the shortest route from Tokyo to Helsinki, about 1/3 the distance of the normal fiber optic cable. And it's a win-win strategy because it will allow the Russian Ministry of Rails to actually control its trains much better, the largest railroad in the world, which is in desperate need of some upgrading. But it also allows for the opening of the information superhighway all across 11 time zones of Russia.
And as far as the IMF, do you do a lot of business with projects that they fund?
Actually, no. We're kind of a small shop, and we have stayed away from other or from multinationals just because they're doing big macroeconomic work, and our job is really to pick and build good businesses. And those two are, I mean, the IMF is talking billions of dollars, I'm talking millions, and small numbers of millions usually.
Final question. Do you think Russia will get more money from overseas?
Well, I think at the moment the liquidity crisis there could be helped by a little more money, but I also think that it's really, at the end of the day, up to the Russians to prove that they can manage this and that they can, in fact, put their own house in order. And I think they want to do that, and I think they'll succeed. But it's really up to them. They're brilliant people. They have wonderful natural resources. They have everything going for them, and they can do this. They may need a little help in the short term, but I'm looking forward to the day when they pay the debts back and when they actually become net investors in the rest of the world.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Nora.
That was John Nowell, President and Chief Executive of Global Partner Ventures, which runs the Defense Enterprise Fund that invests in Russian joint ventures. I'm Nora Macaluso at the Bloomberg Forum in Washington. Thanks.
Covering the globe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Bloomberg is the most active multimedia company there is, reaching a mass audience through radio, television, exclusive terminal service, publishing, and the internet. People in 100 countries around the world depend on Bloomberg's products for the most current information on world and national news, business, politics, sports, and entertainment. And now, a look into the New York headquarters of this media powerhouse. Once you get through the amazement of the hustle and bustle of the reception area, our complimentary food court, and beautiful fish tanks, you'll discover there are 3 newsrooms in the New York office, 2 for television and radio, and 1 for print. Each workstation in the broadcast division is a recording studio. Reporters have the ability to research, tape, and edit at their desks. Stories are saved in a digital format and sent to master control for broadcasts on our radio network.
The Orangina purchase includes 4 bottling and concentrate plants in France.
Bloomberg Radio's flagship station is WBBR AM 1130 on the dial in New York City and is heard on 100 affiliates across the country. When on television duty, reporters are again in the driver's seat. On our news set, control panel at the hand of the anchor allows them to control prompter, pull up video, and basically produce themselves as segments are recorded. With a writing and technical staff behind the scenes and on duty 24 hours a day, Bloomberg Television keeps viewers completely informed.
Coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Seen in 80 million television homes each day on local cable systems, DirecTV, and USA Network, Bloomberg Television has earned a following that regularly beats the competition. The work environment at Bloomberg is unlike most. There are no offices, no titles, and no secretaries. Even the company's founder, Mike Bloomberg, maintains a desk in the newsroom. Everyone is completely accessible.
People always ask why I think we've been successful. My answer is always the same. We have one asset. It's our people.
Our second broadcast newsroom is located located down one flight of stairs. This floor is home to more reporters and 2 studios. One is a virtual reality studio, while the other is used for taping all guests of Bloomberg Television. Bloomberg's interview series is called The Forum. Guests are invited from the world of business, finance, politics, entertainment, and sports to discuss latest news, as well as current and future projects. In the evening, the studio is transformed into the home for Charlie Rose and his PBS interview program. Other Bloomberg products broadcast on PBS stations include Bloomberg Morning News, seen weekdays, and Bloomberg Personal and Bloomberg Small Business, aired on weekends.
I think this is the most fantastic thing I've ever seen. I was totally surprised because I knew a little bit about it. After seeing the hour of operation, give me a job. I could do well here, I think.
There is one more newsroom to visit, and very different from broadcast. These reporters work for the Bloomberg Newswire, which is syndicated to 850 newspapers in 25 countries. Bloomberg currently employs over 500 print reporters and editors around the world. Our award-winning journalists are on top of the news and oftentimes ahead of it.
I'm Michael, my husband. He has a Bloomberg, by the way. I was very impressed that I'm on this show. This is the most I've impressed him.
The next look is into Bloomberg's core business. In 1981, the company was founded selling the Bloomberg service. This service is the world's fastest growing real-time financial information network. The combination of financial data with news, interviews, radio reports, and an enormous amount of other information puts this service at the helm of all information services.
I am kind about the news media. I have a lot of respect for a lot of people, including Michael Bloomberg, who has done one of the great jobs in your whole group.
Bloomberg has ventured into the publishing field with Bloomberg Press, publishing books written by leading financial professionals. These titles focus on specific areas of investment and money management. On the magazine side, Bloomberg Magazine is circulated to our system subscribers to keep them current on new developments within the Bloomberg service. Bloomberg Personal provides readers with investment strategies, along with views and insights from top Wall Street experts.
We think that if you hire smart people, people who care, people who are motivated, and then you take away the impediments that normal organizations to have, you'll get superior results. So far it's worked. I hope it continues to do it.
It's wonderful drinking your Bloomberg coffee.
Yes.
And eating your Bloomberg Oreos.
And I have blown my nose. I haven't blown my nose in the Bloomberg napkin.